Do you remember those classic autumn desserts that always seem to appear on Grandma's table, filling the house with the warm scents of cinnamon, nutmeg, and baked apples? Each slice of pumpkin pie, spoonful of apple crisp, or bite of spiced cake carried more than flavor. It carried family, tradition, and memories of cozy fall afternoons. Somehow, over the years, many of these beloved recipes have faded from our kitchens, replaced by convenience desserts or store-bought treats. Today, we're bringing them back, one nostalgic, comforting dessert at a time, to remind us why Grandma's kitchen was always the heart of the home. Apple crisp with oat topping. Apple crisp with oat topping is the quintessential autumn dessert. A simple yet deeply comforting treat that fills kitchens with the warm aroma of cinnamon, nutmeg, and baked apples. In many southern and midwestern homes, this dessert was a fall staple, taking advantage of the season's bounty when apples were plentiful in orchards and on kitchen counters. Granny would slice tart apples, sometimes a mix of Granny Smith and Honeycrisp, layering them in a butter dish and sprinkling them with sugar, cinnamon, and a hint of lemon to brighten the flavors. The magic came in the topping, a mixture of oats, brown sugar, flour, and butter that once baked became golden, crunchy, and fragrant, creating a perfect contrast to the tender, juicy apples below. Preparation was straightforward, yet it carried the hallmarks of careful, loving cooking. Apples were peeled and sliced evenly to ensure consistent baking, while the oat topping was rubbed together with butter until crumbly and sandy in texture. Some families added chopped nuts for an extra crunch, or a dash of vanilla for depth, but even the simplest version delivered comfort and nostalgia in every bite. The dessert was baked slowly until the apples bubbled and the topping crisped, a signal that the home was ready to welcome family to the table. Often served warm, sometimes with a scoop of vanilla ice cream or a drizzle of cream, apple crisp was a dessert that brought people together. Beyond its flavor, apple crisp with oat topping is a symbol of resourcefulness, turning humble pantry staples into something celebratory. It's a reminder of kitchens filled with laughter, the ritual of peeling and slicing apples with children at your side, and the joy of sharing something homemade. Even today, this dessert endures, proving that sometimes the simplest ingredients, treated with care and love, create the most memorable autumn moments. Pumpkin pie with lattice crust. Pumpkin pie with lattice crust is the crown jewel of autumn desserts, a staple of southern kitchens and holiday tables alike, where the smell of warm spices and baked pumpkins signaled the start of cozy fall evenings. Unlike the plain-top pies we see on store shelves today, the lattice crust added both visual charm and a hint of extra buttery flakiness, making the pie feel like a celebration in itself. Grandmas would roast or cook fresh pumpkin, mashing it into a smooth, sweet-spiced filling that included cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and a touch of clove, blending the flavors into a warm, aromatic custard. The lattice topping wasn't just decorative, it allowed steam to escape while baking, creating a perfect balance between creamy filling and crisp golden pastry. Preparation required a careful touch, especially with the crust. Flour, butter, a pinch of salt, and cold water were transformed into a flaky dough, rolled out and cut into even strips for the lattice, then woven delicately over the spiced pumpkin. The pie was brushed with a bit of milk or egg wash to ensure a glossy, golden finish. It baked slowly, filling the kitchen with an irresistible scent that made everyone linger near the oven, waiting for the moment when it could be sliced and served. Beyond its technical beauty, pumpkin pie with lattice crust carried deep emotional resonance. It was a dessert that marked gatherings, holidays, and family traditions, often served with whipped cream or a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Children watched and learned as the lattice was woven, absorbing not just the recipe, but the rhythm of care, patience and love that went into every dish. Even now, while modern convenience often favors pre-made pies, the lattice-crusted pumpkin pie reminds us of a time when desserts were crafted with intention, turning humble seasonal ingredients into something both nourishing and beautiful. It's a tribute to heritage, flavor, and the comforting rituals of autumn kitchens. Sweet potato pie. Sweet potato pie is a cherished Southern classic, a dessert that embodies the warmth, resourcefulness, and love that grandmas poured into their kitchens each fall. Made from roasted or boiled sweet potatoes, this pie transforms humble roots into a creamy, velvety custard that's sweet, but never cloying, spiced gently with cinnamon, nutmeg, and a hint of vanilla. In many homes, it was more than just dessert. It was a symbol of autumn harvests, holiday gatherings, and the kind of homey comfort that only comes from a handmade recipe passed down through generations. The earthy sweetness of the potatoes, combined with a tender, flaky crust, made every slice a perfect balance of texture and flavor, capable of standing alone or paired with a dollop of whipped cream. Preparation was deceptively simple but required care. The sweet potatoes had to be cooked until soft, then mashed and blended with sugar, eggs, butter, and spices to create a silky filling. The crust, often made from scratch with flour, butter, and a touch of salt, held the custard lovingly, baking to a golden, slightly crisp perfection. Some families would add a splash of evaporated milk or a hint of brown sugar to enrich the custard, while others kept it straightforward, letting the natural sweetness of the sweet potatoes shine. Beyond its flavors, sweet potato pie is a vessel for memory and tradition. Children watch their grandmas measure, mix, and pour, learning the rhythms of cooking and the value of patience. The pie often appeared at Sunday dinners, holiday feasts, and family gatherings, earning its place as a comfort food that warmed both body and soul. Even today, when convenience foods abound, sweet potato pie remains a reminder that simple, seasonal ingredients, handled with care, can create a dessert that is timeless, meaningful, and undeniably delicious. Pecan pie. Pecan pie is a quintessential Southern dessert, a symbol of autumn's bounty and the kind of indulgent sweetness that only a grandma's kitchen could perfect. This pie, with its rich caramel-like filling studded with crunchy toasted pecans, has long been a staple on holiday tables, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, where it offered both flavor and a sense of celebration. The filling, a mixture of sugar, butter, eggs, and often a touch of corn syrup or molasses, envelopes the pecans in a sticky, gooey embrace, creating a decadent contrast to the tender, flaky crust beneath. Every slice carries a satisfying crunch and a buttery sweetness that lingers, combination that made it a treat both for special occasions and for everyday indulgence when the mood struck. Preparation required both patience and precision. The crust needed to be rolled thin and baked just enough to hold the rich filling without becoming soggy. The pecans were sometimes lightly toasted to bring out their nutty aroma, then arranged carefully to create an inviting, glossy surface. The filling poured over them, baked slowly, transforming from a liquid custard to a golden, set, and glistening topping. In many homes, a touch of vanilla or bourbon would be added to deepen the flavor, and some families swore by a sprinkling of salt to balance the sweetness perfectly. Pecan pie was more than just dessert. It was tradition, comfort, and a testament to resourcefulness. Pecans were often gathered from backyard trees, and sugar and syrup were carefully measured to make every pie count. Served warm or at room temperature, sometimes with whipped cream on top, it became a centerpiece of family gatherings. Even today, pecan pie remains an enduring symbol of Southern heritage, reminding us that a few simple ingredients, treated with love and care, can create a dessert that is rich in both flavor and memory. Buttermilk spice cake. Buttermilk spice cake is the kind of dessert that smells like autumn itself, warm, fragrant, and comforting in every bite. A Southern classic, it marries the tang of buttermilk with the cozy flavors of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves, creating a cake that is both tender and deeply aromatic. Grandmas would often bake this cake in a simple round or bundt pan, letting the spices fill the kitchen as family gathered around, drawn in by the enticing aroma and the promise of a sweet treat. The cake was humble in ingredients: flour, sugar, butter, eggs, and, of course, buttermilk. But the result was deceptively complex in flavor, a testament to the magic of time-tested recipes. Preparation required minimal fuss but rewarded attention to detail. The dry spices were whisked into the flour, ensuring even distribution, while the wet ingredients, eggs, butter, sugar, and buttermilk, were blended until smooth and luscious. Some households added a splash of vanilla or a pinch of salt to balance the flavors, while others kept it strictly traditional, letting the warmth of the spices shine. Once baked, the cake developed a golden brown crust with a tender, moist crumb inside, perfect for slicing and serving as an afternoon snack, a dessert after dinner, or a companion to a hot cup of tea or coffee. Beyond its flavor, buttermilk spice cake is a nostalgic emblem of home, resilience, and the simplicity of Southern kitchens. It recalls children sneaking crumbs from the cooling rack, the sound of laughter mixing with the scent of spices, and the quiet pride of creating something memorable from everyday ingredients. Even today, it stands as a reminder that the simplest cakes, made with care and tradition, can evoke warmth, memory, and the unmistakable comfort of a grandma's kitchen in autumn. Apple Brown Betty. Apple Brown Betty is a dessert that tastes like autumn, wrapped in a warm, crumbly hug, a humble yet elegant treat that has graced Southern and Midwestern tables for generations. Unlike the more ornate pies or crisps, Brown Betty relies on simple layers of thinly sliced apples alternated with buttered breadcrumbs, brown sugar, and a dusting of cinnamon, baked until bubbling and golden. In many homes, it was a way to stretch pantry staples while still delivering sweetness and comfort. No fancy ingredients required, just apples, bread, and a touch of love. As it baked, the aroma of spiced apples mingled with caramelizing sugar and buttery crumbs, filling kitchens with a scent that could make anyone linger near the oven, eagerly anticipating the first spoonful. Preparation was straightforward but satisfying. Stale bread was often used for the crumb layers, a perfect example of frugality and resourcefulness. Apples were peeled and sliced evenly, sometimes tossed with a squeeze of lemon or a sprinkle of nutmeg to brighten their flavor. Layers of apple and crumbs were repeated until the dish was full, and a final knob of butter melted over the top, ensuring a rich, golden finish. It was baked until the apples were tender, the crumbs crisped slightly on top, and the edges carried a fragrant, caramelized sweetness. Beyond flavor, Apple Brown Betty carries emotional resonance. Families gathered around the table, often sharing memories as they passed the dish, children sneaking crumbs while no one was looking. It represented warmth, togetherness, and the ingenuity of grandmas who could turn the simplest ingredients into a crowd-pleasing dessert. Even today, Apple Brown Betty stands as a reminder that comfort and tradition can be as simple as apples, bread, and a generous touch of care, creating a dessert that is both timeless and deeply nostalgic. Chouflé pie. Chouflé pie is a classic Pennsylvania Dutch dessert that brings a rustic sweetness to the table, a treat steeped in history and the practical ingenuity of early American kitchens. Traditionally made with a simple molasses-based filling over a tender, crumbly crust, this pie offered a way to transform pantry staples into something celebratory, often served alongside a steaming cup of coffee for breakfast or as an afternoon treat. Its name, quirky as it sounds, is said to come from the need to shoo flies away from the sugary filling while it cooled, a playful reminder of life in the farmhouse kitchen. The filling, dark, rich, and sticky, contrasts delightfully with the light, flaky crust, making each bite both indulgent and comforting. Preparation was straightforward yet required attention to detail. Molasses, brown sugar, eggs, and a bit of flour were whisked together to create a thick, syrupy custard. Some versions added a pinch of spice or a splash of vanilla to deepen the flavor, while the crust, often homemade from flour, butter, and salt, provided a crisp and tender vessel for the filling. Once assembled, the pie baked slowly until the top caramelized and the custard set, filling the kitchen with the warm, molasses-sweet scent that defined early American homes. Beyond its taste, souffle pie carries cultural and emotional significance. It reflects the resourcefulness of families who turned humble ingredients into treats that could be enjoyed every day, yet also shared on special occasions. Generations grew up learning to pour, bake, and patiently watch the pie transform in the oven, absorbing not just the recipe, but the rhythm of care and tradition. Today, souffle pie remains a nostalgic favorite, a testament to simple ingredients, historical ingenuity, and the comforting rituals of farmhouse kitchens that still inspire bakers and dessert lovers alike. Caramel apple bundles. Caramel apple bundles are a whimsical, nostalgic autumn treat that instantly conjures memories of crisp fall air, orchard visits, and the sweet, sticky joy of homemade indulgence. This dessert takes humble apples and elevates them by wrapping slices in buttery pastry, drizzling or dipping them in rich caramel, and sometimes sprinkling a touch of cinnamon or chopped nuts for texture and flavor. Unlike the traditional caramel apple on a stick, these bundles are bite-sized, portable, and perfect for sharing at family gatherings, school events, or cozy kitchen tables where everyone waits impatiently for the oven timer to ding. Their charm lies in their simplicity, just apples, pastry, caramel, and a little patience to assemble them into golden, bubbling parcels of autumnal goodness. Preparation is delightfully straightforward, but requires care to balance sweetness and crispness. Apples are peeled, cored, and sliced into manageable pieces, then tossed lightly with cinnamon or sugar to enhance their natural flavor. Each slice is wrapped in a small square of pastry, homemade or store-bought, sealed carefully, and either baked or lightly drizzled with caramel sauce once hot. Some families added a sprinkling of pecans, walnuts, or even a pinch of sea salt to elevate the flavors. Once baked, the bundles emerged golden and slightly crisp on the outside, tender and juicy inside, with a rich caramel sheen that invited eager fingers to dive in. Beyond flavor, caramel apple bundles are about memory, comfort, and connection. They recall children helping in the kitchen, sneaking tastes of caramel, and the smell of pastry mingling with spiced apples, filling the home. This dessert reflects resourcefulness, transforming simple seasonal ingredients into something celebratory. Today, caramel apple bundles remain a reminder that with a little creativity, care, and sweetness, even the simplest fall ingredients can become magical shared moments on a plate. Cornmeal pudding. Cornmeal pudding is a humble yet comforting Southern dessert, a dish that showcases how simple, pantry staple ingredients can be transformed into something warm, satisfying, and full of nostalgic flavor. Made from a base of cornmeal, milk, eggs, and sugar, this pudding has a custardy texture, gently firm yet soft enough to melt on the tongue, often flavored with a touch of vanilla, nutmeg, or cinnamon. In many Southern homes, it was a practical way to stretch ingredients while still offering a sweet finish to a meal, and it frequently appeared at family dinners, holiday gatherings, or Sunday lunches where it could be enjoyed warm or chilled. Its understated sweetness and creamy texture made it a favorite across generations, a dessert that didn't need frills to be memorable. Preparation is straightforward but requires attention to consistency. Cornmeal is carefully cooked with milk until it thickens, then combined with sugar, eggs, and flavorings to create a smooth, rich batter. Some households baked it slowly in a buttered dish until the top set and took on a delicate golden hue, while others steamed it to maintain a softer, moister texture. Occasionally, a drizzle of molasses, a pat of butter, or a sprinkling of sugar on top added extra flavor and visual appeal. Cornmeal pudding carries emotional resonance beyond taste. It evokes kitchens where children watched their grandmas stir and pour, learning the rhythm of cooking and the joy of shared food. It's a testament to the resourcefulness and creativity of Southern cooks, turning simple ingredients into something both nourishing and comforting. Even today, this understated dessert reminds us that true home cooking is as much about heart and tradition as it is about flavor, offering a sweet taste of history in every spoonful. Molasses cake. Molasses cake is a classic Southern dessert, steeped in history and brimming with the rich, earthy sweetness that only molasses can provide. This cake, dark and deeply flavored, was a staple in kitchens where pantry staples had to stretch far, turning simple ingredients like flour, sugar, and eggs into a dense, moist, and aromatic dessert. Spiced lightly with cinnamon, ginger, and cloves, molasses cake embodies the warmth of autumn and winter gatherings, offering both sustenance and comfort. Its unpretentious appearance belies the depth of flavor inside, a reminder that the simplest ingredients, treated with care, can create something truly memorable. Preparation required patience and attention. Molasses, sometimes tempered with a little boiling water or coffee, to enhance richness, was combined with sugar, butter, and eggs, then folded into flour and spices to form a thick, fragrant batter. Some families added a splash of vinegar or baking soda to balance sweetness and help the cake rise, producing a tender crumb with a slightly sticky texture that begged to be sliced generously. Often baked in a loaf pan or a simple round cake pan, it would emerge glossy on top, aromatic and rich in both color and flavor. Molasses cake carries more than just taste, it carries tradition and resilience. Children often watched as grandmas mixed the dark, shiny batter, learning that good things take patience and care. It was served at family dinners, holiday gatherings, or as a sweet afternoon pick-me-up with a cup of tea or coffee. Today, molasses cake remains a symbol of Southern ingenuity and comfort, a dessert that embodies the warmth, history, and heart of generations who knew how to make the most of simple ingredients and turn them into something unforgettable. Cranberry upside-down cake. Cranberry upside-down cake is a festive and slightly tart dessert that captures the essence of late autumn and early winter, perfect for family gatherings or holiday tables. This cake takes a simple buttered batter and transforms it with a glossy layer of cranberries and sugar at the bottom of the pan, which caramelizes during baking and becomes a jewel-toned, sticky topping once inverted. The contrast of the tangy cranberries against the sweet, tender cake creates a harmonious balance of flavors, making each bite lively yet comforting. A little different from the more familiar apple or pineapple upside-down varieties, its beauty lies not just in taste, but in the visual drama of bright cranberries glistening atop a golden cake, evoking smiles and curiosity even before the first slice is cut. Preparation is straightforward but requires gentle care. Fresh or thawed cranberries are tossed with sugar and sometimes a hint of orange zest to accentuate their natural tartness. This mixture is layered at the bottom of a greased cake pan, followed by a simple batter made from butter, sugar, eggs, flour, and a touch of baking powder. As it bakes, the cranberries release their juices, mingling with the sugar to form a sticky, flavorful glaze. Once cooled slightly, the cake is inverted onto a serving plate, revealing the glistening cranberry mosaic, fragrant and inviting. Beyond flavor, cranberry upside-down cake evokes warmth and memory. It calls to mind kitchens bustling with activity, children peeking over counters, and the sweet smell of baked goods filling the house. This dessert reflects both creativity and resourcefulness, turning a handful of seasonal fruit into a centerpiece worthy of attention. Today, it remains a reminder that with a few simple ingredients and a touch of patience, one can create a cake that delights the senses and carries forward a slice of nostalgic home cooking tradition. Maple pecan tart. Maple pecan tart is a quintessential autumn dessert. Rich, nutty, and laced with the warm golden sweetness of real maple syrup. This tart, often baked in a buttery, flaky pastry shell, combines a simple filling of maple syrup, brown sugar, eggs, and butter with toasted pecans, creating a caramelized, slightly crunchy top that contrasts perfectly with the tender crust beneath. Grandmas favored this dessert not just for its flavor, but for its ability to turn humble pantry staples, syrup, nuts, sugar, and eggs, into something celebratory, perfect for Sunday dinners or holiday feasts where everyone gathered around the table. Its glossy, amber surface and the nutty aroma that fills the kitchen make it as visually appealing as it is delicious, promising a bite that is both indulgent and comforting. Preparation requires care but is delightfully simple. The pastry shell is pre-baked slightly to ensure crispness, while the filling is gently whisked together, combining eggs, maple syrup, and sugar into a smooth velvety custard. Toasted pecans are folded in or arranged artfully on top before baking, allowing the nuts to caramelize slightly and form a glossy, golden layer. As the tart bakes, the kitchen fills with the warm, inviting scent of maple and toasted nuts, a signal that something special is about to emerge from the oven. Maple pecan tart carries both flavor and memory. It recalls children leaning on counters, helping to arrange pecans, tasting sticky maple drips, and the quiet pride of grandmas who could transform simple ingredients into something extraordinary. Today, this dessert remains a symbol of Southern ingenuity, comfort, and the enduring appeal of autumn flavors. A sweet reminder that tradition and care in the kitchen can turn the simplest ingredients into a lasting culinary legacy. Gingerbread loaf. Gingerbread loaf is a warm, aromatic classic that evokes the cozy essence of late autumn and winter, a dessert as much about memory as it is about flavor. Its rich molasses dark batter, spiced with ginger, cinnamon, and a hint of cloves, fills the kitchen with the scent of nostalgia the moment it hits the oven. Unlike elaborately decorated cakes, the loaf's appeal lies in its simplicity. A tender, moist crumb that is subtly sweet, lightly spiced, and perfect for slicing thick for breakfast, a midday snack, or alongside a steaming cup of tea or coffee. It's a dessert that reminds us of grandmas carefully measuring, stirring, and smelling the batter, teaching patience and the joy of homemade treats. Preparation is straightforward yet satisfying. Molasses is combined with butter or oil, sugar, and eggs, then mixed with flour, baking soda, and aromatic spices to form a thick, fragrant batter. Some households added a touch of milk or hot water to ensure a moist texture, and occasionally raisins or chopped nuts found their way into the mix for added texture and flavor. The batter is poured into a greased loaf pan and baked slowly, allowing the spices to meld and the edges to caramelize slightly, forming a tender, flavorful crust around the moist interior. Gingerbread loaf carries emotional and cultural resonance. It recalls kitchens where children sneaked tastes of batter, the comforting aroma of spice and molasses filling the house, and the simple pride of producing a cake that could be shared across the family table. Today, it remains a nostalgic favorite, a testament to the elegance of simplicity, the warmth of tradition, and the enduring power of a homemade loaf to create lasting memories, one slice at a time. Pear and walnut galette. Pear and walnut galette is a rustic, elegant dessert that perfectly captures the flavors of fall, celebrating the natural sweetness of ripe pears and the earthy crunch of toasted walnuts. Unlike fussy tarts or pies, the galette's charm lies in its simplicity. A free-form, flaky pastry cradles tender pear slices, lightly sweetened and spiced, while scattered walnuts provide texture and depth, all finished with a hint of cinnamon or a drizzle of honey. It's the kind of dessert grandmas would serve when they wanted something impressive yet unpretentious. A centerpiece that looked homemade and inviting without demanding hours of labor in the kitchen. The golden brown crust, the caramelized edges of pears, and the nutty aroma combine to create a treat that's as comforting as it is beautiful. Preparation is straightforward but requires a gentle hand. The pastry is rolled out thinly, leaving a border to fold over the fruit. Pears are peeled, cored, and sliced, then tossed lightly with sugar, cinnamon, and sometimes a splash of lemon juice to enhance their flavor and prevent browning. Walnuts are toasted to bring out their nutty aroma and sprinkled over the fruit, giving each bite a satisfying crunch. The galette is baked until the crust is golden and crisp and the pears are tender and bubbling, releasing their fragrant juices that meld with the nuts and spices. Pear and walnut galette is more than flavor. It's memory and tradition on a plate. It evokes the image of family kitchens where children helped fold the edges of pastry, the warm scent of baked fruit filling the home, and the pride of creating something both simple and special. Today, it remains a testament to the elegance of rustic desserts, the joy of seasonal ingredients, and the timeless ability of a thoughtful, homemade treat to bring comfort and connection to the table. Brown sugar cobbler. Brown sugar cobbler is a quintessential Southern dessert, evoking the cozy warmth of family kitchens and the sweet simplicity of home cooking. Its golden, bubbling fruit base, often made with peaches, apples, or berries, is topped with a lightly sweetened biscuit, or dumpling-like crust, that caramelizes beautifully, thanks to the rich, molasses-like depth of brown sugar. The contrast between the tender, juicy fruit and the slightly crisp, buttery topping creates a comforting texture and flavor that's both indulgent and nostalgic. For generations, this dessert was a way to celebrate the bounty of seasonal fruit while using humble pantry staples, proving that simple ingredients could yield extraordinary results. Preparation is straightforward, emphasizing practicality and care. Fruit is mixed with brown sugar, a touch of spice, and sometimes a squeeze of lemon to balance sweetness, then poured into a buttered baking dish. The topping, made from flour, butter, milk, and brown sugar, is dolloped or rolled over the fruit in generous patches, allowing the juices to bubble up through the dough as it bakes. Slow, careful baking produces a caramelized golden crust with pockets of warm, syrupy fruit beneath, a dessert that smells like nostalgia and fills the kitchen with irresistible aromas. Beyond its flavor, brown sugar cobbler carries the emotional resonance of family and tradition. It recalls children leaning on counters to sneak a taste, the comforting ritual of stirring and spreading batter, and the shared joy of serving something made with love. Today, this dessert remains a reminder that good home cooking is about heart as much as technique, and that even the simplest recipes, rooted in practicality and resourcefulness, can create enduring, delicious memories that linger long after the last bite. Apple dumplings. Apple dumplings are a classic Southern comfort dessert, a nostalgic treat that brings the cozy aroma of baked apples, cinnamon, and sugar straight from Grandma's kitchen. This dessert features whole or halved apples wrapped in a tender, buttery pastry, often sprinkled with sugar and cinnamon before baking, then bathed in a light syrup or melted butter to create a luscious, caramelized finish. The combination of soft, tender apples and a slightly crisp golden crust makes every bite warm and satisfying. A dessert that feels like a hug on a plate. It was a practical way to showcase seasonal apples while turning simple pantry ingredients into a dessert that delighted both young and old alike. Preparation is straightforward but requires gentle care. Apples are cored and sometimes stuffed with a touch of brown sugar or spices, then wrapped carefully in rolled pastry. Butter, sugar, and sometimes a splash of water or syrup are poured over the dumplings before baking, allowing the juices to mingle with the pastry and form a rich, glossy sauce. As the dumplings bake, the kitchen fills with the warm, inviting scents of cinnamon, sugar, and baked apples, a sensory memory that lingers long after the dessert is served. Apple dumplings carry both flavor and memory, evoking kitchens where children watched patiently as the pastry was rolled and folded, and where the simple act of baking became a lesson in care, patience, and family togetherness. Today, this dessert remains a testament to the creativity and resourcefulness of Southern cooks, proving that even the most humble ingredients can produce something truly special. With each bite, apple dumplings offer not just sweetness, but a connection to tradition, family, and the enduring comfort of home-cooked desserts. Pumpkin roll. Pumpkin roll is a quintessential fall dessert, a showstopper that balances the earthy sweetness of pumpkin with the creamy decadence of spiced filling, often cream cheese-based. This rolled cake, with its soft, moist pumpkin sponge, is infused with warm spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves, which evoke the comforting scents of autumn kitchens. The technique of rolling the cake with a luscious filling transforms simple ingredients, eggs, sugar, flour, pumpkin puree, into an elegant presentation, a dessert that feels special yet approachable. It was a staple in Southern homes, often baked for holiday gatherings or Sunday dinners, symbolizing both culinary creativity and the warmth of family traditions. Preparation is methodical but satisfying. The pumpkin cake batter is gently folded to retain its lightness, then baked thin on a jelly roll pan. While still slightly warm, the cake is carefully inverted onto a sugared towel, rolled, and allowed to cool, preventing cracks and ensuring a neat spiral when unrolled for filling. The filling, usually a combination of cream cheese, powdered sugar, and a touch of vanilla, is spread evenly before the cake is rolled again, creating the signature swirl. A light dusting of powdered sugar on top completes the presentation, giving the roll a festive and inviting appearance. Pumpkin roll carries more than flavor. It carries memory. It recalls family kitchens where children helped sift flour, watch the cake rise, and anticipate the final reveal of the spiral. Today, this dessert stands as a symbol of seasonal tradition, homey elegance, and the enduring appeal of desserts that combine simplicity with a touch of showmanship. Each slice is a sweet reminder of the care and creativity Southern cooks poured into making every meal memorable. Chestnut cake. Chestnut cake is a rustic, autumnal dessert that carries the warmth and earthy sweetness of roasted chestnuts straight to the family table. Traditionally made with pureed chestnuts folded into a tender, buttery batter, this cake offers a subtly nutty flavor, enhanced by hints of vanilla, cinnamon, or even a splash of rum, creating a dessert that's both comforting and a little indulgent. Its dense yet moist texture makes each slice satisfying, perfect alongside a cup of tea or coffee, and the cake's unassuming appearance belies the depth of flavor packed within. Generations of Southern grandmas relied on chestnuts in fall and winter, when pantry staples and seasonal nuts could be transformed into something special and celebratory. Preparation begins by carefully roasting and pureeing the chestnuts, a step that releases their rich, earthy aroma. The puree is combined with butter, sugar, eggs, flour, and a touch of baking powder, forming a smooth, fragrant batter. Optional spices or a hint of citrus zest can elevate the flavor profile, while careful folding preserves a tender texture. The batter is poured into a greased cake pan and baked until golden, filling the kitchen with a nutty, warming fragrance that instantly evokes memory and comfort. chestnut cake is more than a dessert. It's a lesson in resourcefulness and seasonal celebration. It conjures images of kitchens where children watch chestnuts roast on the stovetop, eager to taste the sweet, nutty treasure, and of grandmas teaching the art of turning simple, seasonal ingredients into something extraordinary. Today, this cake remains a testament to the elegance of humble ingredients, a reminder that careful preparation and love in the kitchen can transform the ordinary into a dessert that delights both the palate and the heart. Sweet potato biscuits with glaze. Sweet potato biscuits with glaze are a warm, comforting treat that perfectly embodies Southern home baking, combining the natural sweetness of sweet potatoes with the tender flakiness of a classic biscuit. The sweet potatoes, often roasted or boiled and mashed, are folded into a simple dough of flour, butter, and a touch of sugar, giving the biscuits a soft, moist texture and a subtle, earthy sweetness that sets them apart from ordinary biscuits. Once baked to a golden perfection, they are brushed or drizzled with a sweet glaze, usually a mix of powdered sugar, milk, and a hint of vanilla, that adds a glossy finish and a gentle sweetness, making each bite indulgent yet approachable. This dessert recalls kitchens where grandmas turned humble pantry staples into something celebratory, perfect for breakfast, dessert, or a special afternoon snack. Preparation begins with the careful incorporation of mashed sweet potatoes into the biscuit dough, ensuring a tender crumb without overworking the flour. The dough is rolled or patted into rounds, placed on a baking sheet, and baked until golden brown, filling the kitchen with the aroma of baked sweet potatoes and butter. The glaze is mixed while the biscuits are still warm, allowing it to soak slightly into the tops and edges, creating a delicate balance of sweetness and texture that melts in the mouth. Sweet potato biscuits with glaze carry both flavor and memory. They evoke mornings in the kitchen with children helping to mash potatoes, the comforting smell of baking filling the air, and the quiet pride of grandmas who knew how to transform simple ingredients into a treat that felt special. Today, these biscuits remain a nostalgic nod to Southern culinary ingenuity, a reminder that with a little care and creativity, even the humblest ingredients can become something extraordinary, sweet, and enduringly memorable. Creamy rice pudding. Creamy rice pudding is a timeless Southern dessert, the kind that embodies comfort, simplicity, and the warmth of a grandmother's kitchen. This humble dish transforms pantry staples, rice, milk, sugar, and a touch of butter into a luxuriously creamy treat, gently spiced with cinnamon, nutmeg, or a hint of vanilla. Its velvety texture and subtle sweetness make it a favorite for any occasion, from weekday dinners to holiday gatherings, a dessert that feels like a hug on a plate. Generations of Southern cooks relied on rice pudding to stretch ingredients, while still creating something indulgent and satisfying, proving that frugality and flavor can go hand in hand. Preparation is straightforward but requires patience and care. Rice is simmered slowly in milk, allowing it to absorb the liquid and thicken naturally, while sugar, butter, and spices are stirred in gradually to create a rich, smooth consistency. Some families added raisins, citrus zest, or a splash of cream to elevate the flavor. But at its heart, this pudding is simple, cozy, and dependable. As it cooks, the sweet aroma of vanilla and cinnamon fills the kitchen, evoking memories of children peeking over the stove, waiting for a taste, and the quiet satisfaction of producing a dessert that comforts both body and soul. Creamy rice pudding carries emotional weight beyond its flavor. It conjures images of family tables, small spoons tucked into bowls of creamy goodness, and the enduring pleasure of handmade desserts crafted with love. Today, it remains a symbol of Southern home cooking, a reminder that even the most modest ingredients, when treated with care, can become a cherished, soul-soothing dish that links generations and evokes the timeless magic of comfort food. Pumpkin custard. Pumpkin custard is a classic Southern dessert that marries the earthy sweetness of pumpkin with a smooth, creamy texture, creating a treat both comforting and elegant. Unlike its pie counterpart, custard focuses on silky consistency and subtle spice, highlighting the natural flavor of the pumpkin rather than a heavily sugared or crusted presentation. Traditionally, eggs, milk or cream, sugar, and pumpkin puree are gently combined with warm spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves, poured into individual ramekins or a baking dish, and baked slowly in a water bath to achieve a delicate, velvety texture. The result is a custard that wobbles slightly when done, rich and fragrant, a dessert that tastes like autumn in a spoonful and evokes memories of family tables lined with comforting homemade sweets. Preparation is straightforward but precise. Pumpkin puree is blended with eggs, sugar, and spices, then carefully poured into lightly buttered ramekins or a shallow dish. A water bath ensures even cooking, preventing curdling and giving the custard its signature smoothness. Baking gently allows the flavors to meld, while the aroma of pumpkin and warm spices fills the kitchen, recalling the cozy, bustling households where Southern grandmas perfected these desserts year after year. Some variations included a light sprinkle of nutmeg or a dollop of whipped cream to finish, but simplicity is key to the custard's charm. Pumpkin custard carries both taste and memory. It evokes the image of children watching custard set in the oven, the comforting scent of spices drifting through the home, and the pride of a grandmother serving a dessert that's both humble and special. Today, this custard remains a testament to Southern ingenuity, a reminder that the simplest ingredients, handled with care, can create a dessert that is timeless, elegant, and deeply rooted in tradition. Carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. Carrot cake with cream cheese frosting is a beloved Southern classic, a dessert that manages to feel both wholesome and indulgent at the same time. Its tender, spiced cake, studded with grated carrots and sometimes chopped nuts or raisins, delivers a subtle sweetness and moist texture that's perfectly complemented by the tangy richness of creamy frosting. Generations of Southern grandmas relied on this dessert to showcase the magic of simple ingredients: carrots, eggs, sugar, flour, and warm spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, transforming pantry staples into something celebratory and comforting. Carrot cake became a staple at birthdays, holiday dinners, and Sunday gatherings, bridging the gap between everyday baking and special occasion indulgence. Preparation is straightforward but rewarding. Grated carrots are gently folded into a spiced batter, often with the addition of crushed pineapple, walnuts, or raisins for extra moisture and texture. Once baked until golden and fragrant, the cake is cooled before being lavishly coated with a smooth cream cheese frosting, its tangy sweetness balancing the warm spices of the cake. Some variations add a sprinkle of toasted nuts or a light dusting of cinnamon on top, making the presentation as inviting as the taste. Beyond flavor, carrot cake with cream cheese frosting carries deep emotional resonance. It evokes images of kitchens filled with the aroma of baking, children sneaking nibbles from the mixing bowl, and grandmas carefully spreading frosting with practiced hands. Today, this cake remains a symbol of Southern baking's charm and creativity, a reminder that with a few simple ingredients and a little love, even humble vegetables can be transformed into a dessert that delights, comforts, and brings generations together around the family table. Apple fritters. Apple fritters are a quintessential Southern treat, a warm, sweet, and slightly crisp delight that recalls the bustling kitchens of grandmas everywhere. These golden morsels combine tender pieces of apples with a spiced batter, often kissed with cinnamon and nutmeg, then fried to perfection and sometimes drizzled with a sugar glaze or dusted with powdered sugar. They were a practical yet indulgent way to use fresh or leftover apples, turning simple fruit into a dessert or breakfast treat that could be shared with family around the kitchen table. The fritter's aroma, rich with the scent of frying batter and spiced apples, would fill homes, signaling comfort, care, and a little everyday magic. Preparation is deceptively simple but requires careful attention. Apples are peeled, cored, and chopped or sliced, then folded into a light, spiced batter. Spoonfuls are dropped into hot oil, frying until golden brown and crisp on the outside while remaining soft and sweet inside. After draining on paper towels, a glaze of sugar, milk, and vanilla, or a dusting of powdered sugar elevates them, creating a sweet contrast to the tender interior. The end result is a fritter that offers a perfect combination of textures, crisp edges, giving way to soft, flavorful, apple-laden centers. Apple fritters are more than just a dessert. They are a nostalgic portal to afternoons spent in the kitchen, the anticipation of tasting the first golden fritter, and the joy of sharing food crafted with love. Today, they stand as a reminder of Southern ingenuity, turning humble ingredients into a treat that is comforting, indulgent, and deeply rooted in the warmth of home-cooked tradition. Each bite is a little taste of history, a connection to generations who understood the power of simple ingredients treated with care. Cranberry bread pudding. Cranberry bread pudding is a cozy autumnal dessert that captures the heart of Southern home cooking, transforming humble, day-old bread into a rich, custardy treat bursting with flavor. Tart cranberries mingle with warm spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, soaking into a custard of milk, eggs, and sugar, creating a tender, moist pudding that is both comforting and festive. This dessert exemplifies resourcefulness. Grandmas could repurpose leftover bread into something celebratory for family gatherings or holiday meals, while still delivering a treat that felt indulgent and special. Its sweet tart balance, golden top, and velvety interior make it the kind of dish that fills the kitchen with the smell of autumn and evokes memories of bustling family tables. Preparation begins with cubing day-old bread and placing it in a buttered baking dish. A custard is made by whisking together milk or cream, eggs, sugar, and warm spices, then poured over the bread, allowing it to soak for a few minutes so each piece absorbs the rich mixture. Fresh or dried cranberries are folded in, adding bursts of tartness to contrast the sweet, creamy base. Baked until puffed, golden, and slightly caramelized on top, the bread pudding can be served warm, sometimes with a drizzle of cream, a dusting of powdered sugar, or even a light glaze to enhance its festive flair. Cranberry bread pudding is more than a dessert. It's a story of comfort, ingenuity, and tradition. It conjures images of children peering into the oven, the aroma of spices filling the home, and grandmas taking pride in turning simple ingredients into a dish that delights both heart and palate. Today, it remains a nostalgic favorite, a testament to the enduring magic of Southern kitchens and the creative use of everyday ingredients to craft memorable, soul-warming desserts. Spiced pumpkin muffins. Spiced pumpkin muffins are the very essence of fall comfort, combining the natural sweetness of pumpkin with the warm, inviting aromas of cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. These tender, moist muffins were a staple in Southern kitchens, offering a quick, homemade treat that could serve as breakfast, an afternoon snack, or a simple dessert. Grandmas relied on pantry staples, flour, sugar, eggs, and canned or fresh pumpkin, adding spices to elevate the humble muffin into something fragrant and special. Each bite carries the nostalgia of crisp autumn mornings, kitchens filled with spice-laden air, and the warmth of a family gathered around the table. Preparation is straightforward yet rewarding. Pumpkin puree is combined with sugar, eggs, and oil or butter, then folded into a flour mixture seasoned with the signature autumn spices. The batter is spooned into muffin tins and baked until golden and slightly domed, with edges that hint at crispness. while the centers remain soft and tender. Optional additions like chopped nuts, raisins, or a light streusel topping can add texture and sweetness, making the muffins even more enticing. The smell of baking muffins fills the house, evoking memories of children peeking at the oven or sneaking a warm treat straight from the tin. Spiced pumpkin muffins are more than just a seasonal delight. They are a lesson in the simplicity and ingenuity of Southern baking. They remind us that with a few basic ingredients and a touch of care, even everyday foods can be transformed into something memorable. Today, they continue to be cherished for their comforting flavors, ease of preparation, and the ability to evoke the timeless magic of home, family, and fall traditions. Pumpkin chiffon pie. Pumpkin chiffon pie is a light, airy twist on the classic Southern pumpkin dessert, celebrated for its delicate texture and subtly sweet spiced flavor. Unlike the dense, custardy pumpkin pie of old time, this chiffon version combines pumpkin puree with whipped egg whites and gelatin, or a stabilizer, creating a fluffy, cloud-like filling that practically melts in the mouth. Grandmas often relied on simple pantry ingredients, canned pumpkin, sugar, eggs, and warm spices to craft this elegant yet approachable dessert, perfect for autumn gatherings or holiday feasts. Its soft, airy texture and golden brown crust evoke the warmth and care of Southern kitchens, where patience and precision transformed humble ingredients into something truly special. Preparation begins with creating a traditional pie crust, baked lightly before adding the airy filling. Pumpkin puree is blended with sugar, egg yolks, and warming spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger, then gently folded into whipped egg whites to achieve that signature lightness. The filling is poured into the pre-baked crust and chilled until set, often topped with a cloud of freshly whipped cream and a sprinkle of nutmeg for presentation. The result is a dessert that looks elegant on the table but remains approachable in flavor, balancing sweet, spiced pumpkin with a soft, almost ethereal texture. Pumpkin chiffon pie carries emotional resonance beyond its taste. It conjures images of family tables filled with chatter and laughter, children eagerly anticipating their slice, and grandmas taking pride in a dessert that is both comforting and refined. Today, this pie stands as a testament to Southern ingenuity and the magic of home baking, reminding us that even the simplest seasonal ingredients, treated with care and creativity, can produce desserts that are light, memorable, and deeply rooted in tradition. Sticky toffee pudding. Sticky toffee pudding is a decadent, old-world dessert that somehow feels right at home in a Southern kitchen, offering warmth, richness, and a touch of indulgence in every bite. This moist sponge cake, often made with finely chopped dates or dried fruits, is baked to perfection and then drenched in a luscious, buttery toffee sauce that seeps into every crevice, creating a dessert that's simultaneously comforting and luxurious. Traditionally, it was a treat for special occasions or family gatherings, a sweet reward for hardworking hands, and a reminder that simple ingredients could yield extraordinary results. The aroma of brown sugar, butter, and caramelized fruit fills the kitchen, evoking cozy evenings by the fire and the joy of homemade desserts shared with loved ones. Preparation is straightforward but requires patience. Dates or other dried fruits are soaked to plump and soften them, then folded into a spiced batter enriched with butter, eggs, and brown sugar. Once baked, the sponge is liberally covered with a warm toffee sauce made from butter, sugar, cream, and sometimes a splash of vanilla, allowing it to soak in and coat the cake. Some families add a scoop of vanilla ice cream or a dollop of whipped cream to balance the richness, creating a harmony of textures and flavors that feels indulgent without being overpowering. Sticky toffee pudding is more than just a dessert. It embodies comfort, celebration, and the timeless magic of slow, thoughtful cooking. It brings to mind kitchens filled with laughter and anticipation, the pride of creating something special from simple ingredients, and the joy of savoring a sweet treat with family. Today, it remains a beloved dish that bridges tradition and indulgence, reminding us that desserts can nourish both the body and the soul, and that a little toffee can make life feel extraordinary. Apple cake with streusel. Apple cake with streusel is a timeless Southern dessert that combines the tender, moist warmth of spiced cake with the sweet, crumbly crunch of a buttery streusel topping. This cake showcases the humble apple, turning everyday fruit into a centerpiece of comfort and celebration. Southern grandmas often baked it with pantry staples: flour, sugar, eggs, butter, and cinnamon, layered with fresh or cooked apples, creating a dessert that was both practical and indulgent. The aroma of cinnamon, brown sugar, and apples filling the kitchen became a signature of home, evoking memories of bustling family tables and the gentle satisfaction of homemade baking. Preparation begins with peeling, coring, and slicing apples, then folding them into a lightly spiced cake batter. The streusel topping, a simple mixture of flour, sugar, and butter, is crumbled over the top before baking, creating a crisp golden layer that contrasts perfectly with the soft cake beneath. As it bakes, the apples release their natural juices, blending with the batter to create a tender, flavorful interior, while the topping caramelizes slightly, offering a sweet, crunchy counterpoint. Some variations include nuts or a drizzle of glaze for added texture and sweetness, but the classic version shines in its simplicity. Apple cake with streusel is more than just dessert. It is a memory of home, warmth, and care. It recalls the sound of mixing bowls, the sight of children sneaking tastes, and the pride of grandmas who could turn simple ingredients into something extraordinary. Today, this cake remains a beloved staple in Southern kitchens, a testament to the ingenuity and heart of traditional home baking, proving that comfort, flavor, and love can all come together in a single golden slice. Maple pudding. Maple pudding is a quintessential Southern dessert that manages to feel both humble and indulgent, offering a sweet, creamy treat that's deeply comforting and nostalgically familiar. Made with simple ingredients like milk, sugar, eggs, and a generous drizzle of rich maple syrup, this pudding transforms everyday pantry staples into a silky, custard-like delight. Southern grandmas often relied on this dessert when fresh ingredients were limited, yet they managed to create something that felt special enough for Sunday dinners or holiday gatherings. The aroma of warm maple and sweet custard filling the kitchen evokes memories of cozy homes, family chatter, and the simple joys of home-baked treats. Preparation is straightforward, yet requires attention to texture. Milk and eggs are whisked together with sugar and a touch of vanilla, then gently cooked or baked until the mixture sets into a smooth, tender pudding. A generous swirl of maple syrup is incorporated or drizzled on top, lending natural sweetness and a deep, caramel-like flavor that complements the creamy base. Some variations finish with a light sprinkling of cinnamon or a dollop of whipped cream, adding layers of aroma and richness without overpowering the delicate custard. Maple pudding carries more than just flavor. It carries the essence of Southern hospitality and ingenuity. It recalls afternoons in kitchens where children peeked at simmering pots, the pride of grandmas crafting dessert from simple ingredients, and the joy of gathering around the table to savor something made with care. Today, maple pudding remains a beloved reminder that even the simplest desserts can leave lasting impressions, blending nostalgia, warmth, and sweetness in every creamy spoonful. Pumpkin cheesecake. Pumpkin cheesecake is a rich, creamy dessert that marries the seasonal warmth of pumpkin spice with the luxurious texture of cheesecake, creating a Southern favorite that feels both indulgent and comforting. This dessert transforms humble autumn ingredients, pumpkin puree, sugar, and spices, into a smooth, velvety filling atop a buttery graham cracker or cookie crust, blending tradition with a touch of elegance. Southern grandmas and home bakers alike embrace this treat for holidays and family gatherings, knowing that a slice offered both familiarity and a little culinary indulgence. The aroma of cinnamon, nutmeg, and baked pumpkin filling the kitchen evokes memories of bustling family tables, laughter, and the pride of homemade desserts that impress without fuss. Preparation starts with crafting a buttery crust, often made from graham crackers or crushed cookies, pressed into a pan to provide a crisp, flavorful base. The pumpkin cheesecake filling combines cream cheese, pumpkin puree, sugar, eggs, and warming spices, whipped until smooth and poured over the crust. Baking requires gentle care to avoid cracks while achieving a creamy, luscious texture. Once cooled, the cheesecake can be topped with whipped cream or a light drizzle of caramel, adding a creamy sweetness that enhances the spiced pumpkin flavor. Pumpkin cheesecake is more than a dessert. It is a celebration of the season, of home, and of the creative ingenuity of Southern kitchens. It brings to mind family gatherings where dessert was the highlight, the anticipation of the first forkful, and the simple joy of a treat made with care. Today, it continues to hold a cherished place on tables, a testament to the magic of combining simple ingredients into a rich, memorable experience that honors both tradition and taste. And there you have it. 30 classic autumn desserts that your grandma always had on the table, each one steeped in tradition, warmth, and a little bit of magic. From spiced pumpkin treats to cozy apple cakes, these recipes remind us that the simplest ingredients can create the most memorable moments. If any of these desserts brought back memories or made you crave a slice, share your favorite in the comments and let us know which one you'd love to bake next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so the sweet legacy of Grandma's Kitchen can keep inspiring cozy autumn tables everywhere.